Hello, Night Nation. This is Andrew Phegley reminding you to tune in every Sunday morning, 9 to 10 a.m. on ESPN 580 Orlando for Knightline the morning after. We'll be taking your calls and your texts reacting to the previous week's UCF sports action. Once again, that's Knightline the morning after, every Sunday morning, 9 to 10 a.m. on ESPN 580 Orlando or TuneIn Radio. Go Knights and charge on.
Knightline Now. UCF Sports News you need to know now.
Trylko, Knightline Now. Pop quiz, everyone. Who leads the 2019 UCF football team in rushing yards? Kudos to you if you said Otis Anderson, who has rushed for more than 600 yards on 99 carries while adding 4 touchdowns on the ground. The versatile junior has also caught 18 passes for 179 yards with 2 touchdown receptions. And let's not forget, Otis returns kickoffs and leads the Knights in punt returns, including that electrifying 87-yard punt return for touchdown against Pittsburgh. This week I spoke with Otis about what UCF has to do to leave New Orleans with a victory.
Talk more about these the road games. What is it? I mean, we saw Tulane struggle on the road at Temple. What is it about the road? I know you don't have the comfort of home, but what changes in the team that maybe creates a sluggish start or just things get off track?
For one, I think it's just a jet lag. You know, you're traveling, your body trying to get acclimated to where you're at. Maybe a time zone difference. But I think the most important thing is you have to be able to make your own energy. I think that's what a lot of teams fail to realize, that when you're on the road, even though you have all of the talent, you still have to make your own energy. That's what a lot of football is, feeding off energy. And I just feel as if a lot of teams don't focus on that aspect.
Do you guys feel like going into this week, especially with the game time, noon East, 11 a.m. local time, has that been a point of emphasis?
Yeah. We know what we have to do. Just from the last couple away games that we had, I think every game that we dropped been away. So that's just something very important to us, especially being that we only have 2 regular season games left. I don't want to send AK out with another L. I don't want to send Nate out with another L. I think that it's going to take a lot of even the underclassmen to just come out and play with extra effort and fight.
Are you a believer that you are what your record says you are?
No, not at all. Because when I was watching Tulsa, I saw that they were a lot different from what their record showed. That's just like a team that's 0-7. If they lost every game by 3, they was in the game. It's just the fact that they didn't come out on the right end of it. So I don't believe that your record shows who you are, because there's a lot of teams in college football that had the potential to be number 1, but they lose 2, they lose 3 games, and now they're out of the playoffs.
So 10 games in on that point, can you get better?
Yeah. I believe you can get better week to week. Maybe those games that you lost, you did something that you usually don't do. Maybe it's just the fact that you weren't able to finish. So I think it's very important that we don't pay attention to our record, even though it's there. But I don't want our team to pay attention to it. I'd rather them come out and play like we're undefeated or play like we have no wins. So we have to play extra hard for each other.
Do you want to see something different from team leaders going into this game? A different kind of conversation, be vocal in a different way?
I don't really think it's so much of the team leaders needing to do something different. The message that they've been preaching is pretty much been the same since we went undefeated. There's no reason to change what they've been saying, because none of it is false. Just to come out and play hard, you got to play for your brothers. And I just feel as if when adversity hits sometimes, I don't think that we were as close as we were before. I don't think that we showed how tight our bond was at certain times. So I just feel as if it kind of seems like the leadership is lacking, but it's not. It's just that we have to listen to it.
It's less of a challenge when you win big, obviously. Do you think this team knows how to win a close game? Because it certainly seems this season you've been on the wrong side of it by just a couple of points 3 times.
Yeah, we had the same team pretty much, even though there's going to be subtractions and additions, but we pretty much have almost the same team from the prior 2 years. So we have players that have been in double overtime games. We have players that won by 1 point on the road at Memphis. We know how to win. It's just us getting the younger guys aboard. Us making sure that they have enough confidence in situations like that. At one point I had to come to Dylan and I had to tell him, listen, you can't be a freshman at this point. I've been in this situation before. You have to think that you're not a freshman anymore, because the more that you believe that you're a freshman, the more you handicap yourself from being the best you can be. So I think a lot of times he listened, but it's also on the team to make it easier on him, because he can't do it alone. And I know that the more pressure is applied, the younger he is, the older guys have to be able to take care of him and take him under their wing.
What kind of leader are you?
I'm more of a do it and let people follow. I don't really like to get into all the speeches and stuff like that, but I rather lead by example. I believe that if you're doing right, then you'll gain followers, and the more followers that you have, eventually it'll test the rest of the team. And even with Montavious and Trillion, they follow my lead and they do a lot of things that I do. I got them into trying to run routes and catching the ball a lot more often. So I just feel as if even off the field, I do things right. I do the right things. I make sure they're going to class. I think that we have a lot of players like that, and we have a lot of vocal leaders, but at the same time, vocal can only get you so far. We need to make sure that we're doing it and leading by example.
It's UCF at Tulane Saturday, noon Eastern kickoff from Ullman Stadium in New Orleans. I'll be there, active throughout the game on Twitter at UCF_Knightline. And we'll be talking about it on an all-new Knightline. Episode number 212 drops Sunday night. Trace Trylko, Knightline now.